Good morning everyone, this is Anna from Carpetbagger Journals, and I just wanted to say a big hello to everyone and thank you so much for watching this video. So today, first of all, the question is what came first, the theme or the fabric? I was contemplating on creating a journal that was related to the Age of Discovery, and finally I decided that it suits Marco Polo so well. So this is it. I've created two journals and they're both carpetbaggers. One is a hard one and the other one is a soft one made with the same fabric. And well, I will show you inside, but very quickly before I do, I just wanted to say that these journals will be up on Etsy this Friday at 8 p.m. UK time. So just to give you a little introduction on Marco Polo. Marco Polo went to explore the East with his father and his uncle, who were both merchants, and they were obviously looking for treasures to bring back. Their main aim, I think, from what I understand, was to discover the Silk Road and bring back silk. I think he was not supposed to or allowed to go, but he did go in the end with the two of them, and he was only 17 years old. He was a Venetian and he was born in 1254, so that will place us into that time period, the Age of Discovery, and it is a very early part of the Age of Discovery. So Marco Polo traveled, he followed his uncle and his father for a while. When they reached the court of Kublai Khan, he remained there. He was very much liked by the Emperor Kublai Khan, who was the grandson of Genghis Khan in Mongolia. So he decided to stay there, and he worked for him as he was a bit of an ambassador. So he would travel around different parts, such as India and Persia, in different parts of the Chinese Empire and Japan. I watched the Netflix series just to get into the atmosphere, and from what I heard, the Netflix series is 80% imagination and 20% true. So take it as the true story of Marco Polo. Marco Polo kept a personal journal and about all his travels and all his adventures, let's say, and he had many. He also produced a book, The Description of the World. If anybody would like to read that book, that it's available, and I'm sure it's really, really interesting. Very captured by that atmosphere of the time in the actual series, and I really, really enjoyed it. Learning about that time. So let me just show you the actual journals, and we might talk a little bit more about different bits and pieces about the history while I'm showing you them. And so this is the hardback carpetbagger, and here I'll show you some details of the fabric. I added this piece, which is a ribbon, a very medieval looking ribbon. It looks a bit like a brooch. So, and it says true, and of course the wheels, which were very prominent, symbolic and also obviously of use, materials of the time. And there's a compass. So this is it. So, and I've added this sari silk ribbon and some sari yarn on the spine. So this is the thick one and the hard one, and this is the softer one. As you can see here, it's also the same fabric. I took another piece, a different piece, so I will have some variety here. And I added these beads and vintage lace, which comes from my friend. Loving the fabric. It's a little piece that she gave me. And I added this, which was an old earring, but it's got a very Mongolian look about it, and I thought I'd add that. I lost one of them, so I'm adding the other one here. So this is a seam binding, and I've also added this silky leaf on the side here, which was a final late addition, so you might have not seen it on Instagram, whoever follows me. And there is gold, a metallic thread, and that was also gifted to me by a lovely lady. So There we go. I'll put them here and I'll show you inside. So I will start. What I thought of like referring to them as, theming them as, is that this one would belong to Marco Polo and this would belong to his wife. Would be a combination of different things that they would give each other to create these journals. The reality is that Marco Polo lived abroad for 24 years, and during that time he left very young, and he was not married, and he married when he returned. His name was Donata Badoi, and he had 3 daughters with her. And that was around the 1300s that they got married. So he wouldn't have been exchanging gifts with her from far away, during his exploration and all. It could have easily been added later on to create this, for both of them to write about his amazing life. So here is Marco Polo. Marco Polo's journal. So I started the front with the interior of either a house or a palace, a palazzo in Venice, because that's where he comes from. Here on this side there are some instruments that would have maybe been used for his travels, for measuring. So I thought that would look nice from the inside of the cover. And this is a quote, "I have not told half of what I saw," by Marco Polo. So who knows what he saw? He must have seen a lot. So there's this is my wax seal, Lexingby, and a pocket here, a side pocket with wheels again. This image for the front is also used for the cover of the other Carpetbagger, and it is an image I took from the Graphics Fairy website, the premium website. I was very inspired because it is a medieval lady holding a rose, but she looks very much like his wife when she was younger, what she would have looked like when she was younger. And of course here's an explorer in the background, a conquistador. I don't know if he was obviously from where, but he looks very Spanish. So I thought it would look well with the general theme. Backed a paper, a medieval paper with lots of golds on it, underneath, and sewn it on. So this would be his wife on the front page of his journal. And this is a map of Venice, printed, well copied map. And it opens up and closes like this, and one can write notes in the back, and it is a Venice engraving, 1650. Here is another Graphics Fairy image, and I just thought that she looks like a young lady again that he would have possibly wanted to have, maybe a picture of his wife when he was younger, or a daughter. So it's tucked into this tuck spot, and I've added this pin here for extra security. And there is a little medieval mirage envelope here, and it's blank. One can write onto it just a little note. Cards, playing cards, and they're also from Graphics Fairy, and I've attached them on the outside here. And this is the other side of that signature. A man who looks very much like Marco Polo walking through this corridor. This is a depiction of a battle. I think this is Kublai Khan, if I'm not mistaken. And it's been attached on an old map paper. And this is Marco Polo dressed in the Mongolic attire. He actually very much adapted himself to the life there. He learned how to fight. He learned all sorts of things because he had to understand the culture in order to survive in that kind of climate. It was called the supreme skill from hard work. So it's obtaining skill, basically, kung fu. There's another image of Marco Polo here. And this is a Mongol empress of the times, and this is her attire, and it's under glassing paper, so one can remove that if they would like, write notes on the back, or add a photograph of their own. And there is, this is not, no, this is just a bit of decoration I've added here because I thought it looked nice with that. This is a braid that he would have saved, and who knows who it belonged to. But it's on a silk, it's tied with a silk ribbon. And there's a card here for writing with on a map pocket. There's the word journey stamped on the page. It's all about, again, journey, discovery. This is a page from Marco Polo's book, and these are notes taken by Christopher Columbus. So he obviously read it and he took notes on his experience, and the experience of another explorer is very, very important. So it shows you that they were watching each other and getting information from each other. And there's a stamp with a face here that looks very, very much of the times. This is Magellan's ship called the Victoria, and I thought it goes really well in this whole kind of atmosphere. So I added that here. There's another corner pocket and some washi, and that's from the Graphics Fairy as well. In this corner pocket there's a boat there of the times. Another stamp for journey. This is at the Church of San Zaccaria, and it was painted by Francesco Guardi. And that's in Venice, and there's a procession here. This is a semblance, medieval semblance, with silk, a silk piece of silk here, and this is somebody that could be the Marco Polo young, in a younger age. And I've added all sorts of different types of papers and a bit of that fabric, and a bit of fabric on the back as well, and some medieval writing. And this is part of that map of Venice under this paper, and some elephants and lace. So a little bit of fun here. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece of manuscript. There he is, Marco Polo, a little bit older, and with his book, probably holding his book, and that's after he returned to Venice. And you can see on his face all these experiences that he had. They're all imprinted. A bit of handmade marble paper here. Another pocket, side pocket. Yes, this is Marco Polo and his uncles, and his uncle and his father arriving at the court of the Great Khan. And this is a map that was a result of his description of his explorations. And this is another map, also printed and added sideways, because I wanted it to be quite large so one could see it well. And it is all these were inspired by his travels. This came from the Graphics Fairy, and I decorated it a bit. And this would have been either his father and his uncle when they were younger, or himself and someone else. So I thought it would look nice here as a memory for him from his life. This is the Silk Road, and the Silk Road was so important at the times, and they really wanted to find they really wanted to find the silkworm and transport it back to Europe. That was a very precious thing for them, for the Mongols and the Chinese. They would never want to give that away. It was a very important part of their industry. And this is a script from the court, and I thought it's on a handmade paper. I thought it looked really interesting, and the way it unfolds from the side of the book. And there's another beautiful piece of handwritten manuscript, which again I have printed onto this handmade paper, which is so soft, and close it there. And there's a side pocket here and some more washi, some music paper. This is Venice, and this is from his book. And I thought it would be a lovely memory for him to have later on. And more paper. And this is a map, a washi map of Japan. And there's another image of the court of Kublai Khan, and the explorers arriving, or merchants, whatever you would like to say. This is again another image of the great Kublai Khan, and that's also in his part of his travels. So again, I printed the whole thing because I thought it looked wonderful, and the yellow is really, really goldy. It's got this gold. Here is a pocket on this dark paper, and there's another little envelope with a note card here for keeping notes. There, and there is a card which really merits a bit more attention. It's gorgeous, and that also comes from the Graphics Fairy. And a pocket for the end. So this is a journal, it's not a book, so I didn't put a book plate in the back because this is his private journal, and it would have been a future journal, a journal that he would have started using later on, because I suspect that when he was there he must have been using a leather book, which is what people used to use to write their notes in, and to do their journaling. It would be leather wrapped. So this would have been something he would have started later on in his life. And he wouldn't have been carried around, obviously, but collected, would have added all of the beautiful things that he was collecting. Now this one, and it is, as I said, of his wife. And, well, I told you about the cover, and anyway, you've seen the cover, so I won't take your time with showing it to you again. So this opens up into this journal here, and there is a little plate here that says trust, and a little key, and this whatever it's called. And there's a side pocket, and I have another one of these cards that look really, really lovely, and I added it here for note taking. And this is from the court of the Kublai Khan, and it is a card at Kublai Khan's hunting of Marco Polo. This is the start of the book, so I've added that. She must have taken it and put it there on the front of her journal. And there's a piece of a map, and this is a stamp, and one can write their name there. This is by Nectar's creation. It's a lovely, it's a map and looks very medieval, and it comes from her Wanderer bundle. There's a corner pocket here with some lace. And here I've added a citrine semi-precious bead. The beads of, as you've known by now because I've said it so many times, but it's the bead of inspiration, and for us crafters. And this is Marco Polo at a later age in his villa, in a little tuck spot here. This is again by Nectar's creations, and this is really gorgeous. I think it's just perfect for this journal. Another stamp. It says journal here, very much the age of exploration. And it comes from our atelier, Rosie. There's another image comes from his book, and it is the arrival of the merchants to the Kublai Khan's court. There's another one for here. It's the same, similar ideas of the merchants arriving and talking to the Kublai Khan himself, the man. This is a poem by Coleridge, and it is Xanadu. It's called Xanadu. And Xanadu was the court, basically the court of Kublai Khan, and it was the court of pleasure. It is located in the north of China, in Shangdu of the Yuan dynasty. And it is what it means is it is the majesty, the amazing, legendary, amazing atmosphere that Kublai Khan had created in his court. Wanderer image here by Nectar's Creations. You will find these on Etsy. And there's some paper here, Indian paper, handmade, and there is the road to the Silk Road. So it's got two sides, so it was folded, I suppose. This is a beautiful image here of different instruments for measuring at the time, including a compass and stamps and rulers. Very, very interesting. There's a side little tuck spot. And this is the other side of that wanderer, and a side pocket with the elephants. There's another side pocket with a bit of a Florentine paper here. And a bit of fabric here. And there's another gold lace, piece of a gold lace, and some more beads here. So remember, it's a lady's journal of the time, so she's got some pretty things there. This was the great temple of Buddha, which he must have given to her, so she liked the image and added it into her journal. There's a piece here of fabric, velvet, and it's all been it's been embroidered with silver thread. There's a ship of the times, and I think it is amazing. It's got all the details here describing what everything is, and she must have kept it in her journal. And there is a pocket here that I've created because I've attached this page onto the journal, and some playing cards here. And the graphics vary. And there's a corner pocket, sari silk here on the side. Very intricate hand stitching. And this is a bookmark, medieval bookmark by Medieval Mirage. And I have some handmade lace, beautiful handmade lace here. So this is it. This is the other one. I'm sorry if I tired you out. I'm going to try and edit as much as I can from whatever is not necessary, but I thought it would be nice to hear a little bit about the history of Marco Polo. He was a great explorer. He actually also drew a map, mapped out Asia, and he brought back ivory and jade and jewels and porcelain and of course silk. I don't know how he managed to get that with him, to bring that with him, because it wasn't an easy job. Thank you so much for watching. And there will be another video and release it probably tomorrow. A video of remember last year, some of you might remember I did a video of what I do with my different journals, my own journals. I don't have that many, but I have created a couple of journals, a commonplace journal and something else, which I would like to show you. I thought you might like, you might have, find fun. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, and we will be speaking very soon. Any questions, anything you'd like to talk about, please leave a note underneath. Please press the subscribe button if you liked it and you'd like to see more of my videos. It's important for me to have your support. And also, remember, if you need to converse about something, you can email me and we can communicate directly. If you don't, it's probably sometimes you don't really want to talk about something on the comment section, or talk a lot about it, but obviously if we can email, it would be fine. I'm happy, more than happy to talk to whoever would like to speak to me relating to this, to what I do, what we all do here. Also, finally, I have a Facebook group now, and it's called Lexingview Journals, and anybody who would like to join that group, please come over. And you can always communicate with me through that also. We can communicate with each other in that group. So take care. Thank you very much. Sorry for I talked too much today. Way too much. It's definitely going to be edited. Take care. Bye-bye.